Sellers, happy 51st episode. You've got selling to different people here. Dale, what is this?
So there's an Instagram reel. Maybe we can put it in. It's just this girl making, sales content about how to sell to people in different parts of the world, different countries, how cultural differences, kind of shift the way that the process typically is. I primarily sell to people in the US. I've sold to people in like Europe and some other parts, and there's definitely some differences, but she had put some stuff that was pretty interesting here. So I wanted to ask you, I wanted to do a little exercise just for the
Mm.
sake of the audience. Selling to people that live in Portland, that's where you're at. You're in Portland. I'm curious how that might differ from selling to people that are in Texas. When you sell to people local, is there anything that you feel you might do differently?
Yes, yes. You have to be so nonchalant in Portland because everyone's doing their own thing. Everyone has their own opinions, and your opinion doesn't matter to anybody, which is a good thing. I like that about Portland. I think Portland doesn't have a shared opinion about different things, so you have to respect everyone's individual opinion, which does become difficult. Whereas in Texas, I think there's like shared values in Texas. They're not necessarily religious, but there are, and
Yeah.
it's easier. You won't trip up as often selling to people from Texas than to selling from people in Portland.
I
This is
think
interesting.
it's in Texas, obviously, bro, like Texas is huge and there's people of all shapes and sizes. But if you're selling to like, older, lifelong, true Texan, it's like you probably want to be on the friendlier side.
Mhm.
And I was going to say, you definitely, I don't know if this is a Texas thing, man, but you know how people will sometimes say like bud, buddy,
Mhm.
pal? You
Mhm.
can't you can't do any of that stuff. You can't like little bro frame. You can't do little bro frame on a Texan, especially like a legitimate Texan, or else you're losing the deal. Like there's kind of like a friendly respect element to it, that at least from my experience. And the girl who made that video, some of that stuff was like included in different cultures. Like, dude, she was talking about selling to people in Iran or selling to people in Japan. I'm like, dude, I've never sold to people over there, but that's interesting to see. I see it, man. I feel like if I were to take this example and then take it to New York, take it to
Mhm.
Boston, it's a lot different, a little bit
Totally.
more fast paced, transactional. What do you got?
Wait,
Lay it down
yeah.
for me versus, Texas, man. It's like, I'm going to try to sit at the dining table, take it a little slower.
Mhm.
So
You know what this reminds me of is like the enterprise conversation we've had, where it's like enterprise sales is much different. It's almost it's on the other end of bell curve for more personal. It's on the opposite side of the fat middle.
mhm.
And this also reminds me of selling to different industries. Like I've been in a position where I'm selling a product to a number of different industries, not selling within one industry. And you have to code switch a lot like this with different industries. It's a key skill. This is a skill for sellers, like we talked about last episode, that if you spend the time to develop it, it will pay off. If you don't spend any time, it's going to cost you sometime in your career.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those things that AI is going to have a difficult time catching on to,
Mhm.
the nuance of it.
Yeah.
So it's important.
Interesting. Super, super. I've got a little quarterly review for us. I just, we're talking April 3rd here, so Q1 just ended for 2026. Three big things. I've got Giuliano Massarelli seemed to dominate every other couple weeks, and he's excelling. And even that's a little peek inside of what young people are selling and what they perceive the sales world to be. I've got low cortisol sales maxing, which we talked about in 50, which is like people taking a different approach to sales, but still wanting to make money and holding those values. And then just the importance of AI in some way, shape, or form in your workflow. It is now cook or be cooked. Thoughts on these big three?
Yeah, it feels like we've been talking a ton about AI. We've talked about it kind of off the pod, but dude, there's just no way if you're going to be a sales rep who's kind of pushing the boundaries of what it takes to stay cutting edge. You are using AI, like you are front running AI right now, and to film a sales podcast without making that a pretty significant topic, we'd be doing you guys a disservice. So I don't want it to become an AI podcast, but it just kind of seems like there's so much happening that applies to salespeople. Definitely that. I also saw Giuliano Massarelli bought a Lamborghini Urus
Okay.
yesterday. I was actually informed from one of my sales brothers. Now, I don't know if he bought it. I don't know if he rented or leased, whatever, but he posted the photo with the key at the dealership. And I'm like, insurance money, man, pays well.
Is it weird that I feel almost the need to protect him. Like, not little bro frame, but like, hey man, uh, for sure, cut the check for a Lambo at 23. No, I'm sorry, at 19. But let's make sure we're checking some of the other boxes. Let's get our 401k going, put the 7,500 away every year, you know?
Mhm.
Like, how do
Yeah.
you feel about it? Like these young bucks find success so early. I don't want them to crash.
I see both sides of it, man. I think he's a dude that as long as he doesn't meet catastrophic failure, he seems like the kind of guy that's just gonna figure it out. Like, dude,
Yeah.
once you can sell and you can build an audience, those are the 2 biggest, most valuable skills.
One more time for the people in the back.
Yeah, like, the world is your oyster at that point, you know? You can literally do whatever you want, so, we talked about it when he got the office, this insurance office, he's paying 9 grand a month, he's, like, 18 years old. It's
Yeah,
like, okay, well, if it doesn't work out, it's not like he's gonna be $500,000 in debt because of we rented an office, right? But he's gonna come out with these lessons, and unless he's just the guy that quits, like, this kinda stuff usually works itself out.
true, true. This also reminds me of Palmer Luckey.
Yeah, the, Andrew?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He said that young people have such an advantage because, 1, they can ask for help, and 2, they can just mess up, and people will applaud them for it. He's one of those people where it's like, regardless of what he does, if he just continues to be a great seller, build an audience, be authentic on camera, like, people will look out for him. If he meets failure in some way, shape, or form, if it's not catastrophic, there are people out there that will take chances on him because they see the potential in him and how it can benefit them in a good way. Very little downside for what he's doing right now. All respect. I almost so tiny bit of envy. I'm not
Mhm.
an envious person, but like I wish I had gone down that path when I was that age. Just doing it right.
He like, I'm not saying the right thing to do is buy a Lamborghini Urus at 18, but, like,
To
he's
be very clear.
when you're 18 like that, man, and you have that kind of leverage, that kind of momentum, like, you lose so much by not going for it, and this is one of those points where he could, like, seriously mess up, but then he's only 20 years old. Like, dude, I didn't get into sales until I was 22, 23, and I'm here now, but, like, dude, when you're young, you can mess up really bad a lot of times and still end up ahead. I'm never gonna say buying the Urus at 18 is the right move, but I think he's just leaning into the momentum and, obviously social media likes fast cars and stuff. So
Keep
speaking
going.
of
Speaking
speaking
of,
of, little side note, I don't know if you saw it, but I reposted the sales agency we used to be involved in. One of the managers that we put in there just bought a Porsche GT4, commission only sales manager, sells for a US company based out of the UK. Our guy Rich, I don't know if you remember Rich.
yeah, Rich, big fan. Closing
Literally,
paid. Shout
yeah,
out.
literally just bought the GT4. That's freaking awesome. So, anyways, just threw that in there. But I added a topic to our list here. We're talking about Giuliano, talking about
Please.
insurance.
Yep. Keep cooking.
I've been seeing a lot of insurance sales content lately. I don't know why. I'm not in insurance sales, but can we talk about I haven't even thought of the right way to kind of put this out there. I saw this guy breaking down his insurance sales numbers. He's trying to recruit people in. And I take it you kind of know how the insurance sales stuff works. Like, you sell the premium, you get prepaid a certain amount, and based
Mhm.
on your upline, you get more or less of a percentage. So this dude sold $45,000 in a month of policy. You hear that and you're like, wow, dude, $55,000 in a month. Like, that's awesome. But then he runs the decently conservative numbers, which I respect, which is like, hey, we're going to account for maybe 20% chargeback in the first year. And then we're going to account for lead spend. And then we're going to account for my cut, which is 75% because I have this. So the 45K that he sold got cut down to 16K in what he would actually take home. And 45K, man, like, if the average policy is 500 a pop and they're selling 1 or 2 a day, like, he's working an entire month for that kind of production for 16K. Now, look, 16K is not a bad living, but I wanted to bring this up because a lot of these insurance guys, man, I'm seeing them on social media trying to recruit, right? Giuliano being one of them. No
Mhm.
shade on Giuliano, but they're like putting out these big sales numbers, but they're not showing that side of it where it's like, hey man, yeah, 1 in every 5 deals is going to charge back, and I spent 6 grand on leads this week, and this and this and this, so I only make this much. So you guys, when you see the insurance stuff, don't drink the Kool-Aid without giving it some second thought. Now, insurance can be great, man. We have a mutual connection. His uncle is one of the largest State Farm brokers in the
Hmm.
States, has a private jet off of selling insurance. They can be great, but in
Hmm.
terms of that immediate upfront cash flow, don't let these insurance guys sell you something that, you don't really understand.
Listen, sales, great avenue for making money. It still holds true that there is no free lunch. This is the price and cost of doing that. There's no free lunch. There's no free lunch. And this reminds
Ugh.
me of that of like, yeah, top line sales numbers are great, but yeah,
Yeah.
you're not robbing the bank. No one ever is.
Dude, from my understanding, I appreciate this guy showing the transparent numbers, but if I see someone produce 45K in insurance, life insurance, by the way, I'm probably thinking, all right, man, like they're taking home 30, they're taking home 32, 33. That's good.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, but when he actually broke down the numbers further than what I understood, he's like, 16 is about where I land. I'm like, damn, that's a lot. Again, 16 is still great. It's better than 99% of people, but like I was actually shocked at how much that got cut back. So that's why you got to recruit, man. You got to be on social with the Lamborghini.
Build an audience and learn to sell. Man, that's going to resonate with me. That's that earworm in my brain now. You're totally right. Shadow Hormozy, it's not what you know, it's about what you're reminded of. Those two things are the edge. AI is the multiplier, but like if you can't understand fundamentally how to do those two things, you are surely cooked and your upside's capped quite a bit.
Yeah, going back to the quarterly review, if I had to really summarize this, content still king, and
Always.
people are trying to do more using AI and make it easier, being low cortisol. It's like, how much can we do? How easy can we make it look? And how many people can know that we're making it look easy? And if you can do that, play that game, man, you are you're set. So
All right, that's gotta be the clip. Man, this is, Dylan's University, man. I'm learning a lot this morning. This is great. All right, speaking of which, no free lunch, 6 AM, 30,000 jobs cut. What's this?
so today's Friday. I think it was earlier this week.
Monday, I think.
Oracle, owned by Larry, what's his last name? Ellison?
Ellison, yeah.
Larry Ellison, super villain, by the way.
By the way, yeah, let's make this real. That guy is a supervillain. It's very obvious. He looks like one. Stop ignoring.
Yeah, I think in the public eye, he's like the third richest person in the world or something. Sells a company that nobody knows what they actually do or sell.
Oscorp. Oscorp.
Anyways, single email, 6 a.m. He probably wrote this with a nice cup of coffee. I don't know if he wrote it or he probably didn't. But single email laid off 30,000 people. Now, from my understanding, these were primarily overseas workers or contractors, specifically targeting India, which I didn't know they had 30,000 people. I could be wrong, but I don't really think it was that many salespeople. I was trying to see the makeup, but anyways, the point stands, and we have a graphic. Maybe we'll pop it up on the screen. These are tech companies that are just doing mass layoffs. Like April April 24th, 2025, Intel laid off 25,000. Amazon in January of 26 laid off 16,000. Microsoft in July of last year 9,000. Just like with the snap of the fingers because of AI. Going back to that quarterly review, not to make this an AI podcast, sales sales is becoming AI. Not in terms of the actual person, but like you have to be learning this. And honestly, I think we're helping people out by talking about it so much.
I hope so. If you're watching and you're learning something, comment down below and let us know because we kind of need some signal to know how much you guys are involved in AI. This is crazy. I mean, we're talking about 3/4 of data, and these are historically organizations that you would love to sell for. These are kind of career makers. Like you have this. Like if you put this in your LinkedIn header, ex Oracle, you're basically hireable anywhere. Intel's on there, historically great sales organization. Microsoft, historically great sales organization. Atlassian, one of the top companies to sell for in the late 2010s. Salesforce, that's the underlying sales company behind all of these. Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Now, I mean, these are tech companies, so they're a little bit different. I know not
Mhm.
everyone listening to this is in tech, but I feel like tech naturally they're going to be the front runners with AI, and then other industries catch on. So if you guys are not being affected by this yet, act with a sense of urgency. Act like you will be soon, so that you're not. You know, become
Preach.
unreplaceable.
Sick. By the way, probably a standalone episode I could do whenever you come up with the flu or something, knock on wood. But have you ever heard about like Intel more or less inventing B2B tech sales? Have you heard that story?
Mm-mm.
I'll tell it another time, but like there was a point in time where they started to learn what like proper B2B tech sales was, I think in the 80s. It's cool. A lot of the stuff that they invented and taught is still being practiced today. It's interesting.
I wonder what tech sales was like in the 80s.
Crazy.
That
Crazy. But
sounds
like, yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. I'll make a video on that some other time. I've got here, what's the real edge? And this is probably from my personal life in my day job. So for those that don't know, if it's your first time watching, we have basically a business consulting business. And right now we're scaling out our product and our sales and our marketing and building the team and scaling this up. We're kind of in year 2 and it's growth time. Right now, we are coming into a season where sales and marketing are highly aligned. We're running paid ads, we have multiple channels, like these two need to be on the same page. Historically, sales and marketing are opposing forces. So, in your opinion, you have good insight into this. What's the real edge? A high performing sales team or a high performing marketing team? Meaning, would you rather have a less than stellar marketing team, but have a really high performing sales team, or the opposite if you had to grow?
I'm gonna probably give the answer that you guys don't want to hear. As a sales guy who ran sales businesses that included marketing, and I know a lot of people on either side, I think it's marketing. It's the most top of funnel. Like I would rather have such good marketing that we bring all these people in the funnel with proper expectations so that the sales part is the easy part. So that it's just like the cashier swiping the card, right? Because whenever you have the inverse, and maybe you don't even have too much marketing, but you have salespeople going outbound and like fighting tooth and nail for deals. This is business owner brain thinking, but like, dude, salespeople are going to get it done by any means necessary, and that's how you get misaligned expectations with the product or the service. You get angry customers, and so I think being a salesperson who positions yourself into a team that has like S tier marketing, the best freaking dream job. It's the best place to be. I think Shelby Sapp said this, which I'm sure she got it from somewhere else, but this is my latest recollection of the idea, which is marketing is just sales to many.
Hmm.
It's like a more depending on the type of marketing. And when I say marketing, it could just be like content, right?
Hmm.
But it's your ability to like get people to think through your lens. And if you can do that one to one and you transfer that skill one to many, like it's value, like you're doing it, just the output is greater. Like, I don't
Hmm.
know. But salespeople are still needed, man, because like to go from zero awareness to a happy high ticket purchaser, you got to usually have some human intervention in that process. So I'm going to go high performing marketing team.
I would agree. I would agree.
Okay, cool.
Because that's what we're trying to optimize right now. We have good sellers and we have a really good product. And the only bottleneck right now is better marketing and not more marketing, specifically better. And this actually comes back to when I wanted to ask you about too, with the advent, like not advent of AI, but the rapid adoption of AI and its influence over a lot of different types of businesses and especially sales coming into play now. One thing I've noticed, you and I both have a little bit of a copywriting background, which is just sales and text done asynchronously in mass. I am finding that the foundational skill of copywriting is almost disappearing because people aren't aware of it because they're using AI to make words. I now am seeing when I take the time to actually flex that muscle again, we find really good results. Have you had a recent kind of event like this?
Flexing the muscle of like just manual copywriting.
Yeah, like actual like writing a sales letter, writing something out,
Yeah.
reverse objection handling.
I can't get AI to write like me. I give it so much stuff and it comes out like AI. And, maybe that's a skill deficiency, but I did a post, which is actually a topic we're going to talk about next. And it's like kind of gaining some traction on Twitter right now, but it was a manual post. And I find that when I take the time to like actually sit and write in my voice, and even if it's like not like entirely proper, because when I write stuff, it's more like conversational, like more like text. That's kind of how we do it. And it just always gains traction. So yeah.
We had something very similar. I wrote us a sales letter. Me and the CEO of the company wrote it, or founder rather, wrote a sales letter basically by hand, and then compared it with something we made with AI. And the manual sales letter was way more coherent, got way more interaction, was way more effective. And you know what? Like there wasn't really a big time difference because, as you know, like once you have the foundational skill of copywriting and you know how to put together a coherent sales argument on paper, you can go pretty quick. You can see through the matrix and work pretty fast. Just as a coder who knows the foundational code can sometimes code faster than AI,
Mhm.
man, that's an edge. that's going to be something that is probably going to be a disappearing art because people will hop into a chat based AI and go, write me a sales letter or whatever. And it's going to be crap.
Mhm. I did something for the first time yesterday, and I didn't even it was just a natural thing that I did when I was trying to write a longer form copy piece for an interview we did. And I had an interview transcript that I had done like a week prior. It wasn't super, super fresh. It was like a 35-minute interview. So I throw it into Claude. And originally I'm like, hey Claude, write a tweet. I do have some like systems that are supposed to write in my voice. I saw the output. I was like, this shit sucks. So what I did instead is I said, "Hey Claude, give me a chronological timeline of like this person's journey." The interview was about how he went from solar sales to remote income, did like 19K or something. So it gave me the chronological, and then what I did is I just opened up a Google Doc and I used Whisperflow, which dude, I literally almost can't work from a coffee shop now if I can't use Whisperflow with AI stuff. Like it's all about the depth of the prompt, right? But I just started talking, like reading through this chronological, but like in my voice. And the tweet that I got out of it, the LinkedIn post that I got out of it was so much better because I just had the facts laid out and I told it how I would tell it versus Claude try to like make the story correct here. And it was so much better, so much more authentic. So that's something I might be doing more often is like get the cold hard facts in its entirety in front of me and then just work through it as I would, traditionally, but not typing, talking.
Yeah, truly. Oh man, if I had had Whisperflow when I was in my copywriter bag,
Oh, dude.
I would have been a weapon, a weapon. Previous sponsor of the newsletter, by the way, Whisperflow. We'd love to have you back on. And you're talking to two power users right here. Every day I log into the little dashboard. Really good desktop app, and tells me how much I use it, and I like that.
Yeah, we've got some people, not Whisperflow, but similar companies that I've spoken to that they're like, we want salespeople. So
Hmm.
it's a good market.
Love it. Whisperflow. More on that later. There's something there for sellers. You've got voice agent model for sales reps. Is this what you were talking about?
Yep. So this is another tweet that I made where how did I do this one? I got creative with AI. I think I just did Whisperflow. I mean, yesterday was the first day I did two tweets that both have done okay. And I just used Whisperflow to make a long form instead of writing. I just talked it and it just came out a lot more authentic. Anyways, this is kind of gaining some traction, kind of hit AI Twitter, kind of hit online business, agency Twitter. But I was listening to My First Million. I don't know if you heard this, but Chris Corner went on recently
Love Chris Corner.
and he was saying voice agents for just traditional businesses, people that don't know AI. So I wanted to bring this up here. Actually, I'm going to probably link the tweet. It's kind of long, but we'll see if we can pop it up on the screen. If you're a sales rep who knows how to sell things and you're looking for a really big gap in the market, a blue ocean, really simple service delivery, copy and paste, something that's hot, riding the wave, because that's what's important is like riding a wave that already exists, right? You don't want to be a surfer trying to go out there and make your own waves. You gotta find the wave that exists and ride it. Selling voice agents to let's just say auto mechanic shops.
Yep.
Dude, they hate answering the phone. They got to put the tools down. They got to roll out from under the car. Anyways, on the podcast, Chris is talking about, hey, I know this guy that does it for barbers. He charges them 2,500 a month, or I'm sorry, 2,500 upfront setup, which by the way, just literally copy and paste, put their hours in, change the name. It's so easy. And then 250 to host it, just so that they don't have to answer the phone while they're cutting hair. And I think if you're a sales rep, man, and you have some extra time on your hands, voice agents are very easy to make now. And I was already kind of thinking through this, man. If I had some good SEO, a little bit of good paid ads, you got like 5 grand to mess around with some paid ads. I would go grab the domain. Another one I thought of was contractors. Let's just say mm, concrete company,
Yep.
right? Voice agents for concrete.com. The SEO on this would go crazy. You run some Facebook ads, you probably get some really cheap leads, and then you can easily spin up the demo, like customize it with their name and their business hours, get these people on a call, show them this thing that you already built and say, hey, it's basically done. Do you want it? Because I know you hate answering the phone. And bro, if you could just like sign, I don't know, 30 concrete companies at $250 a month, recurring, high margin. Maybe you have a VA, you probably don't even need one. These people have no idea how to do this stuff.
It's
So,
very good.
anyways, that's business brain thinking, but I mean, if you're a sales rep, you probably have business brain a little bit too. This could be, I mean, it's going to take no time to manage either. You just got to take some sales calls and the upsells on this, very, very easy.
I think little accelerator here for you too. A lot of these local businesses all know each other and they like share some business and like it is in their best interest to know about each other and be on good terms than it is to be competitors. If you can get in with like my fence guy, I
Oh,
love
yeah.
our fence. Our fence guy was a referral from the landscaping and hardscaping guy. You get one of these and they're all going to get on this because all of them don't want to work and
Yeah.
all of them answer the phone. That's what they believe the job to be. And truly it probably is. Like that's the highest leverage use of their time is to
Yeah.
interact with customers on the front line. You get them back that time, they're going to tell their buddies and they're going to all be drinking beer together saying, man, that young buck with our
Yeah.
voice agent thing is we like
Dude,
that.
if you guys don't know how to set those up, it is extremely simple and you can literally copy and paste it, fill out a couple things unique to the business, and then you have a completely new one. But if you find someone, you have to find the perfect person, I'm sorry, perfect person to sell this to. Their ticket price is high, they know nothing about AI, and they spend more time talking on the phone when they don't get paid to talk on the phone. There is a world where you sell this to salespeople. I don't know. I feel like the best people to sell this to is going to be like boomer businesses, super small employees, office or shop environment,
Mhm.
where it's like, I have to stop doing my service that I provide to go pick up the phone. I don't know. I think there's a lot of opportunity there.
Tons. By the way, voiceagentsforconcrete.com available, $12 a year. Go snag it.
Dude,
This reminds me of a tweet that I saw Sam Parr put out recently too. I'm having a tough time finding it. Where did he say? April 1st. This is not a joke. The agency business model just got really interesting. Sean and I were talking about a thesis called service as a software. I always thought
mhm,
running an agency was a huge pain in the ass. It was. But AI flips the math. Old model requires an army of humans to get things done, which meant low margins and low multiples. So now you replace human labor with AI, and one person can do the work of seven. At the same time, private equity firms are shifting their budgets from SaaS to buy up service companies. Traditional agency that might run on 40% gross margins is now an AI service business that hits 75 and gets tech multiples. Wild shift.
that's why I think this is such a great opportunity. Like, I don't think you guys understand how easily you could get something like this to 50K a month with 80% margin. Super sticky. And someone will buy that from you.
All right. You're getting me going a little bit. You knock it off.
The real bottleneck here is time. My bottleneck, why I don't do this right now, is because I personally don't have the time. AI isn't quite there, from my understanding, to be able to do most of this for me. It can do a lot of it. And I don't know anyone who I feel is capable of doing this who also has the time to allocate towards this, because all the high performing guys that I know are busy doing high performing shit, you know?
Facts. Facts.
So if you guys are listening, you want to run this, shoot us a DM or something, shoot me an email.
Yeah. We'll throw in. We'll throw in.
I know people that sell this to. So I mentioned concrete. I have a buddy. We talked about him before. He was a closer. Went to run a just digital marketing agency for concrete and epoxy.
Yeah.
This is one of the services they offer. I think of keeping the service scope super copy and paste makes it really easy. And then I know another guy local here in Austin. He runs it for med spas, and he charges 10 to 15K up front, makes like AI ads, puts the AI voice person on the other end of the ads, and sets some appointments. And he's charging 15K setup fees on that. So it's real, man. And it's you know what they say? I don't know if you ever got into trading. I had some trading stuff, and now I kind of just like put money in the market and leave it. But it's so much easier to make profit when you're doing like quick trades on something that's trending up versus trending down. This is one of those things where it's like, it's already trending up. The wave is here. You just got to find yourself within it. And if you don't do it, someone else is going to do it.
True. Man, this reminds me a lot of a couple years ago when like low code was coming out and I got really savvy with that and I was able to do some dangerous things and riding a wave. Signing clients was so easy. You didn't need to worry about competition. You just needed to worry about competence. If you were competent and available, you were going to just make good money and have a good solid business. This reminds me of that. Just like be available and competent. You're going to win.
Yeah. The average person knows nothing about AI. If you're listening to this podcast, you know a little bit more, hopefully, than
For
the
real.
average.
For real. I want to, all right, this is my closing call to action for our audience out there. For those of you that have a little bit of extra juice going into the weekend, someone build a side business based on AI, then share it with us, email us, comment down below. We want to interview you. I'll interview you on the pod. I think there's a lot of opportunity for salespeople to build up these little side incomes and de-risk themselves away from something that might happen with Oracle.
Yeah. I got a call to action too, man. If you're a sales trainer,
Ooh,
you help people sell things, we wanna send you leads. Also, if you're a recruiting, hiring you're a business owner looking for sales reps, looking for talent, a steady flow, a lot, we wanna send you leads. We have a lot of people interested in opportunities, so send us an email, Dylan@becausesales.com.
there it is.
Cool.
That's it. Anything else?
That's it.
Sellers, go make money. See you at 52.